state.
Sorry. Sir, can you please do it in English, sir?
Yeah, of course. I'm going.
Thank you, sir.
In India, actually, there was no practice of oil painting, say in the 200 years back, or more than that. Before that, actually, in India, there was only watercolor painting, not any oil painting. Got it? But gradually, when the Europeans used to come to India, they actually started to show us how to do oil paintings. Hello, can you hear me all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So when oil painting was started in India, that was being started by the Europeans. They came to India and they started to show us how to do oil paintings. So that is why we all Indians can do right now oil painting. So that is why oil painting is called totally the colors of I mean the medium of the all best medium of the all colors, king of the colors, Balahai. It has been called king of the colors. Now, what we will use for oil painting, doing oil painting, first we will have to use linseed oil, purified linseed oil. This linseed oil is very important for doing oil painting. Though it is not very much used, I mean, the quantity of linseed oil is not very high amount. It should be used very softly as well as little of it, but it is very much needed for doing oil paintings. Number one. Number two, tarpaulin oil. Tarpaulin oil is used as in watercolor. We used to use water to dry our, wash our brushes. Exactly in oil painting, we use tarpaulin oil to wash our brushes. Though tarpaulin oil are used on the canvases too, but generally tarpaulin oil is used for washing the brush. These two mediums are important for doing oil painting. Third, we generally use while doing oil painting, it is generally used on canvas, number one, not in paper. And before doing oil painting on a canvas, we generally use gesso. Gesso is a type of white pigmented colors that is being used as a top base for doing oil painting. Before doing oil painting, generally we use gesso on the surface of the canvas. After it been dried out, then we start doing our paintings. Another thing about oil painting is that while doing watercolor, we generally start with the light colors and gradually goes to the darker shades. In acrylic also, we generally start with the light colors and then we gradually moves on to the darker shades. But in oil painting, it is generally different. We should start with the dark colors and go to the lighter one. After doing the base of any we are doing a portrait or any kind of painting, we will give a base color that can be light. But after giving the base color, we generally start with the dark color and gradually we go to the lighter one. That is one part of oil painting. Another part of oil painting is that for doing watercolor, for doing watercolor, say if you want to do a watercolor, it will take hardly 1 hour or 2 hours to finish it up. For acrylic, it will take hardly 1 hour to finish it up because both the paintings can dry out very quickly. But for oil painting, it needs number of days, not time. It needs number of days. For one oil painting, say by 1 feet by 1 feet, if the canvas is 12 inches by 12 inches, if you want to do an oil painting, if you want to finish it up properly, it needs at least 3 to 4 days because the first layer has to be dried out gradually and then the next layer is to be given over there. And for doing oil painting, you need to do layering. That layering is very, very important in oil painting. And to create the matiyar, that is called matiyar. Matiyar is the effect on oil painting, special effect on oil painting, which actually gives out the touch of the colors that is below, which is coming out as a glow in the above part of surface of the painting. That is called matiyar. It's very difficult. You have to learn the particular technique through number of practices and gradually you will able to learn it. So that is the basic part of oil paintings. Another important point of regarding oil painting is that we don't generally use charcoal or pencil or anything while doing oil painting on canvas, because charcoal or pencil, they have got carbon in it. So if we can use, of course, that is Conti. Generally we use Conti for the drawing, basic drawings on the canvas. Conti is a different kind of, almost like charcoal, but it doesn't have carbon in it. So that is why that is called Conti. So while doing oil painting, we generally use Conti to make the drawings, basic drawings. Of course, there are some artists, they use pencils and charcoals, but I don't prescribe to do that, because generally the carbons within the pencil and graphites and carbons and all these things in the pencils and charcoals, when they get mixed up with the oil colors, it creates problem in future. Might have not seen in the present condition, but in future it will create problem. It will make the certain part of the paintings dark. So that is a problem. So if you want to do drawings on the canvas, as far as oil painting is concerned, better you use Conti, or you can use pencil, which is very, very soft. For example, I mean, which is very, very soft. In that case, I mean, the carbon and quantity is very less. That is HB pencil, not 2B pencil, 6B pencil, or 8B pencil, or 10B pencil. Only HB pencil. HB pencil can be used for doing, drawings on the canvas while doing oil painting. So these are the basic, very basic things. Another basic things of doing oil painting is brush. Generally, while doing watercolor and acrylic, especially, we use hog hairs for doing acrylic, as we do shovel hairs for doing watercolor. Exactly like that, in oil painting we use shovel hairs. Shovel hairs are very, very important brushes for doing oil painting, but nowadays we are getting artificial brushes which are quite good for doing oil painting. So while doing oil painting, you can also use artificial brushes. So as far as brushes are concerned, we generally use shovel hair brushes or artificial brushes, and we try.
Spelling টা বলে দেবেন ব্রাশে
after shovel hair, it's a BLE shovel. Shovel hair brush, একটা ব্রাশের নাম হচ্ছে shovel hair, যেটা লাগে, which is been used for oil painting, shovel hair. Another is artificial synthetic brush. Synthetic brush এখন তো it is available anywhere. So that is also used for oil painting, because gradually shovel hairs are getting out of market. So instead of shovel hair, you can use synthetic brushes also. Now, when we will start oil painting, I have already one of my student, he was doing his own work, so I have taken that particular one because it has little bit dried out. So I can show you the stages gradually, one by one. So I will show you now how to first of all use oil paintings on a canvas in a fast coat. Okay, let's show. Just hold on for a moment. Just hold on for a moment. Everybody, please hold on for a moment. Sorry. So now I'm showing you how to apply oil on canvas. Can you all see this particular painting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can see. Now this is shovel hair brush. Can you see the brush? All of you
Yes,
can
sir.
see the brush.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, what we will do, we will not use any oil straight away on the brush. We will not dip into the linseed. We will not dip into the tarpaulin. It will be there, but we will not use straight away. Well, we will start the painting. I have already done the base. This is not my work. Actually, one of my students was doing. So this is the base that has been given already. This is the best, and it has been done 2 days back. Still, you can see the color is coming out. Still, the color is wet. Even it has been done 2 days back, still the color is wet. So that is the difficulties of doing oil painting. That is why it takes so much of time. But still, we can start along with this particular colors. Now see, I am starting with this particular one. This is the fruit. This is another one, and this is the half part of the fruit. Let me see how to use it. See, I have taken some oil colors on the brush, at the tip of the brush, and see the method of using it. Holding is almost like acrylic. While we are doing acrylic, the holding is like this. Don't hold a brush like this, never. This is the holding, and as soft as you can hold the brush. Don't hold it hard. Now I'm using oil on this particular base. See, very softly. All of you can see, I hope. All of you can see?
Yes, yes, sir.
See how I'm using. I'm not using any oil. I'm just taking this color straight away and putting on it. And see how slowly I'm doing it. This is very important. In acrylic, we generally use brushes very fast. In watercolor, we spread the waters and all. But in oil, you just have to have lots of patience while you are doing your layering.
So until and unless the first layer is almost dried, we can't apply the next layer in oil.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because if you try to apply on the wet layer, the whole
Yes.
things will be smashed. You know, the
Okay.
bondage will be broken.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
The whole
sir.
bondage will be broken. So in that case, you will have to wait for drying up the first layer, and then you will have to start the next one.
Okay.
So see how I'm putting the next layers over this one so softly.
Sir, in the first layer, have you taken more oil and less color?
No, you just have to use the color straight away on the canvas. When the brush will stick, then you will have to take a little bit of linseed at the tip of the brush, and then you have to continue. And while you want to wash your brush, you will have to dip it in the cup or where the tarpaulin oil is there, and you have to wash the brush, and then you have to rub it on a piece of cotton or cloth to dry it up. Got my point?
So means if first when we are taking the brush and we are taking the color with it, so no linseed oil will be used.
No linseed oil, no tarpaulin oil, nothing. Straight the color, because it itself is slippery. It's not like acrylic that will stick. Not like watercolor. Without water, it will dry up. It
এমনি
itself has
কালারেও
got-
তো এ থাকে লিনসিড থাকে কালারেও তো
ওর মধ্যে অলরেডি দেওয়া থাকে লিনসিডটা, বাট খুব কম, মানে the quantity of linseed within the color is very little, but that is good enough for moving the brush on the canvas.
হ্যাঁ স্যার
Okay. So again, I'm showing you. See how thick the color I have taken. The thickness.
যখন লার্জ স্পেসে রং করব তখনও কি মানে কোনো আমরা লিনসিড ইউজ করব না?
হ্যাঁ করবে, লিনসিডটা আমি দেখাচ্ছি লিনসিড কি করে করবে, এই ফেজেও করবে, আমি দেখাচ্ছি কি করে করবে। খুব মন দিয়ে দেখো কিভাবে করছি। লিনসিড করতে হবে, কিন্তু সেটা আস্তে আস্তে করতে হবে। I'll show you. Just see the brushing. আমি ব্রাশিংটা দেখাচ্ছি, ছোট ছোট patchwork. It should be done with a little patchwork, with small patchwork, and The brushing is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is the method of doing oil painting. Small with a very soft hand. Don't give pressure. Never give pressure. With a very soft hand. It is a very delicate color. Now, if I want to use little bit of light color than this one, I will have to rub the brush on a piece of cloth, or I can dip it into the tarpon oil. Then I will rub it on the cloth, and then the whole thing will come out like this. You can use tissue paper instead of cloth. Now again, I'm taking little bit of white. Very small amount of white. I'm mixing up this white with the yellow. The important, the most interesting part of this particular medium is that it blends so well. You will love it while doing the painting. It blends like anything. And it will give you so much of time to blend it so that you can do it minutely. Need not to hurry. See, I'm blending white with this chrome yellow. The yellow that I was using on it, on lemon yellow, was chrome yellow. So I'm gradually mixing white with chrome yellow. To show the lights. Hope you can see. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Sir, instead of
Yes, carry on. Instead of?
Sir, instead of patch, we can use strokes also.
Yeah, I'm giving actually strokes with a patch tone. These are actually strokes, small strokes. See, if I do it slowly, very slowly, you can see what I'm doing actually. I'm actually doing like this, but with little bit faster, like this. If I do it very slowly, you can see the strokes. See, so that's what I'm doing, little bit faster. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, again, I will clean it with tarpon oil. I will rub it on a cloth. Fresh brush is ready. Now I will take another brush for putting some other colors on it. To make it a little bit deeper, to create a little bit deep tone, I'm taking burnt sienna and little bit yellow ochre. Now the brush is a new one, not that the brush I was using. Now here I'm giving the dark tone. See, I'm just overlapping the color. And the touch of the brush with the canvas should be very, very soft. Otherwise, the whole thing will be spoiled. Touch should be very, very soft. See, the smoothness is coming out gradually. This is even only the second layer. Now a little bit of white again. So what I'm doing, I'm giving the strokes with the brush, and then I'm also blending with it, overlapping the strokes on, on the top of it. I'm giving one stroke and then overlapping it with another stroke to blend it out. Now, little bit more dark part. See, I'm putting another layer of dark colors on one. The layer that I've given on that particular one, I'm giving another layer. You may ask me why you are not drying it up and then you are putting the layers, because these particular layers have got more or less same colors. That is why I can use it. See how gradually it is blending up with yellow. It is a time-taking method, and you need to have lots of patience while doing oil painting. Now I will leave this particular part and go to this one, because this particular one has got enough of colors on it. It needs drying up for at least 1 day or 2. I will go to the next part of it. Now here, instead of while putting yellow, then I will mix it up with red. See the thickness of the color. This is very important. See the stroke, so soft. It needs to be very soft. I will clean it with rubbing on a cloth, dry cloth. Again, I will take some color, yellow, putting yellow on red. See, this is the dark tone, dark color, and this is the lighter one. I'm mixing it up. And gradually I'm snatching the color downwards. With very soft strokes, I'm snatching the colors. Moving the brush like this. This is important. Is that clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now here I need to have some, lighter tone. So I will clean the brush on rubbing on a cloth, and then I will take little bit white and yellow, both on the same brush. White and yellow, both are there on the same brush.
So the turpentine oil you said is for cleaning the brushes. What about the linseed oil, sir?
Tarpon oil is used for cleaning the brush generally.
And the linseed oil is for?
Linseed oil is for mixing actually. When the brush will stick, then I will use linseed. Still now the brush is not sticking because already one layer has been given, and on that particular one I'm putting the colors. So while you have used already one layer, your use of requirement of linseed oil will be less.
Okay. So you will actually get to know when to use it when your brush becomes thick.
I'll show you. On this particular process, you will get that particular point where the linseed oil has been used.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Just see the mixing. This is important. Grain wise, I'll have to mix it up. The pigment should be properly blended. Otherwise, when another layer will be on the top of it, the lower layer will break down. So the blending should be very properly done. All the pigments should be properly mixed up. And for oil painting, don't use plastic palette that you use all for acrylic. Never use that. Either on a piece of, you can put you can take a board, mount board, or board like this, masonite board like this, and you can put cellophane paper on it. Just cover it up with cellophane paper, and then you will put colors on it as a palette. Or you can use glass as a palette. Never use plastic, anything plastic based palette for oil painting, because the colors, yes.
আমার কাছে স্যার একটা উডেনে যেটা অয়েল পেইন্টিং এর জন্য ওইটা তো ইউজ করতে পারি না?
হ্যাঁ, এটা করতে পারো যদি সেটা প্রপারলি পলিশ থাকে। উডেনের যেটা হয় সেটা হচ্ছে কিছুদিন অয়েল ব্যবহার করে
ওইটা পুরো পলিশ, মানে আপনার উডেনের সরি অয়েল পেইন্টিং এর জন্যই ওইটা ছিল।
হ্যাঁ, ওটা কি করতে হয়, ওটা মাঝে মাঝে আবার পলিশ করিয়ে নিতে হয়।
হ্যাঁ, ওই অয়েল দিয়ে স্যার একটু ক্লিন আপ করে দিয়ে তারপরে
ক্লিন আপ করে দিয়ে তারপরে আবার ওটাকে পলিশ করে নিতে হয়। ধরো 6 মাস ইউজ করলে, 6 মাস ইউজ করার পরে again you have to polish it, give the polish over there, so that it should not, the color should not get inside that particular palette. কালারটা ভিতরে চলে গেলে
পেন্সিলে হয়েছে না তো, আউটলাইন গুলো যে দেখা যাচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ
না, এই ড্রয়িংটার যে আউটলাইন গুলো পেন্সিল দেখা যাচ্ছে।
এটা পেন্সিল ইউজ করেনি, এটা ডাইরেক্টলি অ্যাক্রিলিকের ব্রাশে অ্যাক্রিলিক দিয়ে আস্তে করে টেনে নিয়েছিল। সেটাও করা যায়, মানে অ্যাক্রিলিক দিয়ে আস্তে করে টেনে নেওয়া যায়। টেনে নিয়ে তারপরে আমার এক ছাত্র করছিল এটা, তো আমি কিছু জায়গায় দেখানোর জন্য একটু পেন্সিল টেনে দিয়েছিলাম। কিন্তু সেটা করা উচিত নয়, মানে এটাও একদম বাড়িতে জাস্ট একটা রাফলি করার চেষ্টা করছিল বলে আমি দেখেছিলাম, কিন্তু পেইন্টিং করার সময় সেটা করা উচিত নয়। কালো মানে গ্রাফাইটের এনিথিং ব্যবহার করা উচিত নয়, কন্টি ব্যবহার।
স্যার ড্রয়িং এ মানে ড্রয়িং করব না স্যার অয়েল পেইন্টিং এ আগে?
হ্যাঁ, ড্রয়িং করতে হবে। ড্রয়িংটা কালো পেন্সিল দিয়ে না করে কন্টি দিয়ে করলে ভালো হয়। কন্টি কিনতে পাওয়া যায়, কন্টি জাস্ট অ্যামাজনে গিয়ে টাইপ করলেই পাবে কন্টি। Conti pencil.
Conti.
ওই Conti pencil, Conti, CONTI.
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
এই Conti pencil পাওয়া যায়, খুব দামও কিছু নয়। ওই Conti pencil দিয়ে ড্রয়িংটা করলে কি হয়, যখন ব্রাশিং হয় তখন ওটা মিক্স আপ করবে কম, মানে ওটার মধ্যে কার্বনটা নেই, তার ফলে ওটা তোমার অয়েল পেন্টিং এর জন্য সবচেয়ে ভালো মিডিয়াম ফর ডুইং দ্য ড্রয়িংস। ড্রয়িং তো করতেই হবে, ড্রয়িং না করলে কি করে হবে। কিন্তু যখন হাতটা তৈরি হয়ে যাবে, when you are skilled enough, you need not to even use contis. You can draw with the brush itself and then you can put the colors over there.
স্যার আমরা যখন কোনো ড্রয়িং করব মানে অয়েল পেন্টিং এ, তার ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটা আগে কি করে নিয়ে তার উপরে ড্রয়িংটা করব তো স্যার ক্যানভাসে?
ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটা করে নিয়ে নয়, আগে ড্রয়িংটা করে নিতে হবে। করে এখানে দেখুন ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটা ডার্ক কালার আছে।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ এইটাই স্যার।
এই ডার্ক কালারটাকে আগে চাপিয়ে নিতে হবে, যেখানে যেখানে ডার্ক টোন আছে সেগুলো আগে দিয়ে দিলে ভালো হয়।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ ওইটাই জানা। থ্যাংক ইউ।
আচ্ছা, একটা জিনিস you can have when you have a look on it, see how much time is needed to cover up only this particular area, small areas. So much of time is needed because you have to blend it so well. Unless and until all the pigments have been properly blended, if you leave it, the next day you will find that the whole thing has been broken up. So that is why it takes so much of time.
ওকে স্যার।
Whole color should be properly blended. All the pigments should be properly blended, perfectly blended, and not with pressure, with a very soft hand. That is why it takes so much of time. See, with a soft hand I am using. একটুখানি লিনসিড জাস্ট ব্রাশে একটুখানি লিনসিড টাচ করে নিলাম, অল্প, ভেরি স্মল অ্যামাউন্ট। See, again the brush is moving so well. এই মিক্সিংটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। আমি খুব ক্লোজে নিয়ে আসছি যাতে দেখা যায় মিক্সিংটা। দেখা যাচ্ছে? Is it clear?
স্যার একটা প্রশ্ন আছে।
Yes, please.
বলছি যে স্যার যখন মানে আউটডোর স্টাডি হয় বা হয় অয়েলে, যদি মানে সেক্ষেত্রে তাহলে কি মানে 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 শুকিয়ে নিয়ে লেয়ার করে তখন কি করা সম্ভব হয় সেটা?
একদমই তাই হয়। আউটডোর স্টাডি জেনারেলি অয়েলে খুব কম হয়। আউটডোর স্টাডি হয় না, একদম ডাইরেক্টলি পেইন্টিং হয়। মানে যেটা তোমরা ওয়াটার কালারে স্টাডি করতে পারো বা আউটডোরে গিয়ে, বা অনেক সময় অ্যাক্রিলিকেও আমরা স্টাডি করতে পারি আউটডোরে গিয়ে, সেটা অয়েল পেইন্টিং এ করা সম্ভব নয়। তার কারণ অয়েল পেইন্টিং তুমি রোদ্দুরে বসে করতে পারবে না। রোদ্দুর যদি পড়ে তাহলে তোমার কোনো সময় লেয়ারটা শুকোবে না। অয়েল পেইন্টিং জেনারেলি করতে হয় খুব ঠান্ডা জায়গায়। ওদের দেশে সম্ভব, কারণ ওদের দেশে তো বাইরে আউটডোরে রোদ্দুর তো নেই, অলমোস্ট খুব কম রোদ্দুর পায় ওরা। সো ইন দ্যাট কেস ইউরোপে ওদের দেশে আউটডোরে বসে অয়েল পেইন্টিং তাও করা সম্ভব, আমাদের দেশে অলমোস্ট ইম্পসিবল। হয়তো যায় যদি তুমি একটা শেডেড এরিয়াতে থাকো, মানে তোমার মাথার উপরে কমপ্লিটলি শেড থাকবে, যেখানে কোনো রোদ্দুর পড়ছে না, সেখানে বসে তুমি একটা ধরো ল্যান্ডস্কেপ করছো, সেটা তুমি 2 দিন 3 দিন 4 দিন ধরে করলে সেম টাইমে গিয়ে, যাতে তুমি লাইটটা পাও। কিন্তু there should not be direct fall of sunlight on your canvas, otherwise it will not dry up. বোঝা গেল?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
Oil painting is generally done in the studios. তার কারণ এটা আরেকটা প্রবলেম আছে, সেটা হচ্ছে লিনসিড অয়েল যদি বেশি এয়ারের কন্ট্যাক্টে আসে, অর্থাৎ অক্সিজেনের কন্ট্যাক্টে আসে, তাহলে ওটা রংটাকে কালো করে দেবে। লিনসিড অয়েল কামস ইন কন্ট্যাক্ট উইথ দ্য এয়ার, I mean with the oxygen, especially in the air, it can make the color darker. So that is why it should be done within the studios. খুব হাই অল্টিটিউডে গিয়ে অনেক সময় অয়েল বাইরে বসে করা যায়, যেখানে এয়ারটা অনেক বেশি পিওর, কিন্তু তাহলেও লিনসিড অয়েলের ব্যবহার করলে ওই ব্ল্যাক একটা এফেক্ট চলে আসতে পারে। এখানে I'm holding the camera straight on the canvas so that you can see the layers. See, from the dark it is getting lighter and again getting lighter and again getting darker. So it is properly blended.
Audio in progress.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Is it all? Okay, that is very important. And it is only possible because lower part is already dried out, almost. The outer surface is not dried, lower part is dried out already. That is why we can use it so smoothly. Please mute your audio, voice.
Monalisa, please mute.
Lisa Borua, please mute yourself.
Now, to show the problem, if we use more linseed, I'm showing you. Intentionally, I'm putting a little bit of linseed on it. See, I've taken a little bit of linseed on the brush and I'm putting it on the canvas. Intentionally. So that you can see the problems, what will happen while putting the colors. Now I'm taking the color. See, it is not moving as it was moving before. See, it is spreading like water. When the color, linseed is more on the canvas, it will not blend properly. Can you see? The thickness has gone out. The thickness has become, the thickness over here and thickness over here is totally different. Because I have intentionally put some linseed over here so that I can show you the problem.
So basically the purpose of linseed oil is for only cleaning the brushes, is it, sir?
And of course to mix the colors properly, but it should be used very little. Now when it might have happened, you have given linseed more on the canvas. It might have happened on your course of painting. So what you will do, you will take another brush. I'm taking this brush, I'm putting on it just to take off the oil from the canvas.
Okay.
This problem might have come to you also. That is why I'm showing it. So while if there is more linseed, you will see the thickness is getting lesser. So always the thickness should be much more as far as the oil painting is concerned. So if there is more linseed, just dry it up with another brush, take away the linseed from the canvas, and then again you will continue with your work. See, again I'm putting colors. The thickness, the difference of thickness can be seen over there. See, now there is less linseed, and see the thickness. Can you see the difference? Is that visible to all?
Yes, sir.
See the difference. At that moment, there was more linseed, and that is why the color thickness was less. And now the linseed has been taken away. It is not so much over there. So the thickness again is coming out. So always there should be thickness of the paints on the canvas. And it should be properly blended. Otherwise, in a long time, in a long course of time, there will be cracks on the painting. As far as oil painting is concerned, that is a big problem of doing oil painting. Unless and until it has been properly mixed up, if the linseed oil is more, these problems might have happened in future on oil painting. there will be small cracks on the painting. So to avoid that, you should not use more linseed, and while you are mixing the colors, it should be properly blended, very well blended. And that is why it
বেশি
needs so much
ইউজ
of
করলে
time.
আবার স্যার হলদেও হয়ে যায়, মানে কয়েক
হ্যাঁ,
বছর পর, মানে বেশি লিনসিড ইউজ করলে আবার কিছু বছর পর হলদে হয়ে
ওই
যেতে
যে
থাকে।
বললাম, ওই তার কারণ হচ্ছে যেই অক্সিজেনের সাথে কন্ট্যাক্টে আসে লিনসিডটা, তখন ওটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি হলদে হয় না, একটু কালচে হলদে হয়ে যায়।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
ওই
কালচে হলদে।
ওই জন্য লিনসিডের ব্যবহার বেশি করতে হয়। See, I'm mixing yellow with red over here. Crimson and lemon, chrome yellow has been mixed over here gradually. See, all the strokes should be continuous and one after another, not haphazard. In acrylic, we do haphazard strokes, but in oil, there should be continuous and one after another, and with a very soft hand. With a very soft hand. That is very important. That is, you have to practice. A good oil painting and a medium, I mean, general oil painting, the difference is that only with the brush strokes. It can be seen on the painting when it has been finished. See how gradually the color is, I mean, spreading in the object. I have holded a brush at the top to minimize the pressure. I'm sorry. See the thickness. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now I am giving little bit faster strokes because I'm habituated with it. But all of you, when you will start oil painting, never use faster strokes. When it will be, I mean, after long practice, you can use little bit faster strokes. Little bit. Just see, I'm rolling the brush like this. This is important. Only this holding can allow you to roll the brush like this. If you hold it like this, it will not be easy for you to roll the whole thing like this. So it should be holded like this. Now see, the dark color and the lighter one is blending with each other. Just hold on so that I can take a little bit of yellow colors. It is already finished, so I need to have some more yellow.
Sir,
Yes.
We have used only flat brush, yeah, round brush also.
Generally for oil painting, we prefer to use flat brushes.
Okay. Thank you.
For very delicate, I mean, for the very delicate part of it, say you are making the eyeballs and all, then you can use round brush. But generally, we use flat brushes.
Okay.
Because the mixing is important. With a round brush, you cannot make so nice mixing. And see, I'm always using shovel hair brush, not using hog hair. See what will happen if I use hog hair. I'm showing you. Just hold on. This is hog hair. This is hog hair. If I use hog hair, what will happen? See, the color is breaking. I hope you can see it. All of you can see it.
Please mute karo. Please mute yourself.
দেখতে পাচ্ছ কালারটা ব্রেক করছে আমি যেই হগ হেয়ার ব্যবহার করছি কালারটা ব্রেক করে যাচ্ছে
হ্যাঁ স্যার হ্যাঁ
এবার আমি হচ্ছে না আমি এইবার আবার ঠিক ওই জায়গাটা আবার শ্যাভেল হেয়ার ফিরে আসছি আর ব্রেক করছে না এই জন্য অয়েল পেইন্টিং এ শ্যাভেল হেয়ার ব্যবহার করতে বলা হয় হগ হেয়ারের বদলে অনেক দিন কাজ করতে করতে when you are been habituated with this color you are I mean friendly with this color তখন তুমি অনেক সময় হগ হেয়ার ব্যবহার করতে পারো but it is not prescribed. See this particular part I am putting yellow on red. How to create the layers. But mind it, too much colors may spoil the whole thing. So the taking of color should be medium, not too much, not less. That idea will come through practice. দেখা যাচ্ছে এখানে দুটো রং আস্তে আস্তে মিক্স হয়ে গেল অতটা রেড ছিল তার সাথে ইয়েলো অতটা ছিল দুটো মিক্স করে গিয়ে ফাইনালি একটা নতুন কালার তৈরি করছে Can you see it?
Yes sir.
But see the difference. এটা যদি অ্যাক্রিলিকে হতো তাহলে কিন্তু এটার মধ্যে স্ট্রোকস এর দাগ থাকতো, এখানে কিন্তু স্ট্রোকস এর দাগ অলমোস্ট নীল। অ্যাক্রিলিক পেইন্টে খুব ক্লোজে গেলে স্ট্রোকস এর দাগ দেখা যায়। অয়েল পেইন্টিং এ ইন্টেনশনালি স্ট্রোক না ছাড়লে যদি মিক্সিং করে দিই তাহলে অলমোস্ট ব্রাশের দাগ দেখা যায় না। If you intentionally leave the mark of the strokes, that is another question, but if you be careful that you will not going to leave the stroke marks, it will never be seen on oil painting. But in case of acrylic, even if you are very careful, after finishing it up, when you will see on the canvas, you will see the mark of the strokes, brush strokes. That is due to the pigments. Oil pigments are much more, blendable than that of acrylic. It is softer rather. So here you can see I have left light over here, I have left light over here, I have given little bit of dark tone over here, little dark tone over here, little medium tone over here. Can you see? All of you can see, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is the second layer. I have given the second layer on it. This is the second layer. So I need to leave it like this for at least 1 day so that it can be properly blended. Now, straight away I will go to this particular area. Here I have not given any layers. It is only the background canvas, the base canvas you can see. Now what will happen if I put straight away colors on it? Can you see the problem? See, there are gaps in between. So what I will do, I will make a base ground for this particular area to put the second layer. So while putting the base ground, here I will use little bit more linseed oil to minimize the thickness. For minimizing the thickness, I will use little bit more linseed oil on this particular area to make the first layer. So in the first layer, we use linseed oil little bit more than the second layers. Is that clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
এই লেয়ারে আমি যখন লিনসিড অয়েলটা ব্যবহার করছি তখন একটুখানি পাতলা হয়ে যাচ্ছে রংটা, তাড়াতাড়ি আমি বেসটাকে তৈরি করে নিতে পারছি এবং ব্রাশিংটা অনেক ফাস্ট হচ্ছে এখানে।
স্যার লেমন গুলো যখন পেইন্ট করেছিলেন তখনও ফার্স্ট লেয়ারে বেশি লিনসিড অয়েল দিয়ে করেছিলেন ফার্স্ট লেয়ারটা?
হ্যাঁ, অনেকটা বেশি লিনসিড অয়েল দিয়ে করেছিলাম, তাতে এই পিগমেন্ট গুলো অনেক পাতলা হয়ে যায়।
আচ্ছা স্যার, ওকে।
অয়েলের পিগমেন্টটা পাতলা হয়ে যায়, তাড়াতাড়ি স্প্রেড করিয়ে দেওয়া যায়।
ওকে স্যার।
কিন্তু সেকেন্ড লেয়ার থেকে আর সেটা করা যাবে না, তখন লিনসিড অয়েলটা কমিয়ে দিতে হবে। এই জন্য অয়েল পেইন্টিং ইজ সো ডিফিকাল্ট, যে একটু 19-20 হয়ে গেলেই পুরো জিনিসটা খারাপ হয়ে যাবে। Now you can see the difference. এটা লিনসিড অয়েল বেশি দেওয়া আছে, এটা লিনসিড অয়েল কম দেওয়া আছে। Can you see the difference? এটা কিন্তু ফেটে গেছে অলরেডি। এই যে ফাটা ফাটা ব্যাপারটা দেখা যাচ্ছে, যেহেতু এটা ফার্স্ট টোন, ওই জন্য আমরা we are not bothering about it. এই যে এটা ফেটে গেছে, এটা কিন্তু লিনসিড অয়েল বেশি থাকার জন্য। আর এখানে লিনসিড অয়েল কম থাকার জন্য এই অলমোস্ট ফাটাটা নেই। Can you see it?
Yes sir, yes.
Is that clear?
হ্যাঁ স্যার। এই শাইনটা কি স্যার অয়েল পেইন্টেরই শাইন? একটা চকচকে ভাব আছে, দ্যাট ইজ ডিউ টু দ্যাট।
অয়েল পেইন্টেরই শাইন। এটা অয়েল পেইন্টেরই শাইন।
আচ্ছা।
এক্সকিউজ মি স্যার,
কোনো রকম আলাদা আর কিছু ব্যবহার করার দরকার হয় না।
एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
यस
सर, जो आपने बोला था कि जेसो बेस में जेसो हम लोगों को पहले लगा लेना है, तो इसमें सर जेसो लगा हुआ है या फिर डायरेक्ट कैनवस में आप कर रहे हैं?
या इसमें जेसो फ्लैट करके लगा हुआ है। इसमें एकदम
ओके
जेसो लगा के रोलर किया हुआ है, एकदम प्लेन रोलरिंग किया हुआ है। वो आप जेसो को अगर फ्लैट करके लगाना चाहिए तो लगाना चाहेंगे तो आप पहले ब्रशिंग करके उसके ऊपर रोलर्स मिलते हैं, ऐसे छोटा छोटा रोलर्स मिलते हैं, वो रोलर कर देंगे तो एकदम फ्लैट क्लीन जेसोइंग हो जाएगी। फिर उसको ड्राई अप करने के बाद आप कलर्स करेंगे।
ओके सर,
इसीलिए
हम लोग
इसका
डायरेक्ट
यस टेल
सर
मी।
हम लोग डायरेक्ट कैनवस पे नहीं कर सकते क्या? ये विदाउट जिसको हम लोग यूज नहीं कर सकते क्या? और
नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स बाद में ज्यादा आ सकते हैं। प्रॉब्लम्स क्या होता है बीच बाद में से, सोचिए कि 10 साल 20 साल बाद कैनवास का ऊपर जो बॉन्डिंग आप बनाए हैं कलर्स का वो टूट सकते हैं। इसीलिए जेसो अगर लगा लेंगे तो उसका ऊपर अगर आप करेंगे तो वो बॉन्डिंग टूटेंगे नहीं। दीज आर द टेक्निकल पार्ट। डायरेक्टली भी कर सकते हैं, ऐसे नहीं है कि जेसो विदाउट जेसो आप कर सकते हैं, लेकिन आफ्टर लॉन्ग टाइम से 15 years 20 years बाद देखिएगा कि इसमें छोटा छोटा हेयर लाइन क्रैक्स आ गए हैं।
So this gesso we can made at
Gulshan
home
sir?
also. वो glue and white color के साथ.
Absolutely you can do that.
Okay.
Homemade gesso, that is homemade gesso, but homemade gesso I don't prescribe to use because उसमें जो blendings जो बनते हैं actually वो जो हम लोग खरीदते हैं वो उसको machine में बना हुआ रहता है। So they mix it up the whole thing in a machine, so the whole pigments are properly mixed up. लेकिन घर पे अगर आप बनाएंगे तो उतना ज्यादा मिक्सिंग प्रॉपर्ली नहीं होगी, तो जेसो यूज करने से थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम आ सकते हैं। थिकनेस ज्यादा हो जाएंगे कुछ जगह पे थिकनेस कम हो जाएंगे, ये प्रॉब्लम आ सकते हैं।
सर ड्यूरेबिलिटी भी नहीं होगा शायद से, मैं
ड्यूरेबिलिटी हो सकता है लेकिन उतना ज्यादा जरूर नहीं होगा। आप घर पे कुछ ऐसे बनाएंगे और जो प्रोफेशनली यूज किया जाता है वो बना के जब आप लोगों को देंगे तो दोनों में तो अंतर होंगे ही।
Sir, in Amazon, we generally get pre-gessoed canvas also mounted. So, are those okay?
No, actually, they generally write down that it is already been gessoed. But I always will ask my students to do another coat of gesso on it before doing oil painting. Before doing oil painting, not for acrylic. Before doing oil painting. In case of acrylic, you can straight away put colors on it.
Okay, so can we know how we apply gesso on it or something?
Today on this canvas, I cannot use gesso once again. In your individual classes, I will show you.
Okay.
Because it has already been gessoed, so I cannot use once again gesso on it.
Right.
So when I will have your individual classes, I will show you.
Right.
See, now this part still is wet. Still this part is wet. See, when I'm putting brush, this part is still wet. I can snatch the colors. It takes long time to, now why I'm doing like this? I'm showing you the problems actually. Along with the putting of the colors, I'm showing you the problem. If you put brush on it, say after I'm touching this particular things after say 20-25 minutes, still it is so wet. If you put the brush on it, the texture that you have made on it, the blending that you have made, that can be spoiled. So you have to leave it. If you even want to do something on it, you have to have patience. You have to leave it for 1 day at least, so that the upper layer is more or less dried out. Am I clear?
Yes, सर एक और क्वेश्चन था, जब मींस एक लेयर आपका ड्राइड, अभी सेकंड जो पार्ट है मीडियम वाला पार्ट, तो उसमें आपने जो लाइट शेड दिया हुआ है वो चीज अगर हम लोग नेक्स्ट डे को ड्राई होने के बाद देंगे तो वो कैसे दे पाएंगे? वो फिर से लिंसीड ऑयल देके उसको मींस थोड़ा सा
नहीं, फिर से लिंसीड ऑयल देने का जरूरत नहीं है। मैंने पहले ही बोला था कि लिंसीड ऑयल एकदम कम यूज करेंगे। आप डायरेक्टली यहाँ पे सोचिए कि ये जगह ड्राइड आउट हो गया है, हम दिखा रहे हैं, ये जगह ड्राइड आउट हो गया ऑलरेडी, सी नो कलर इज कमिंग आउट। तो इसमें अगर हम लाइट कलर्स देंगे, सोचिए कि व्हाइट देंगे, सोचिए ये जगह पे हम थोड़ा सा लाइट्स लाना चाहते हैं, ये इसमें तो आएंगे नहीं क्योंकि दोनों का शेड्स आ जाएंगे, लेकिन फिर भी हम दिखाने के लिए दिखा रहे हैं। इसमें देखिए डायरेक्टली हम व्हाइट यूज कर रहे हैं। ये जहां पे हम लाइट्स कलर दे रहे हैं वो डायरेक्टली कर रहे हैं।
Okay.
लिंसीड ऑयल नहीं दे रहे, इसके साइड में अगर हम डार्क करेंगे, सोचिए कि इसके साइड में हम थोड़ा सा डार्क कलर दे रहे हैं.
So till how many days we can keep this? Means suppose today we have done, so then after 15 days we are again starting that. We can do that, right? In oil.
Yeah. You can. Actually, the method of doing oil painting is put layers, leave it for 2 days. That is been said. Put layers and leave it for 2 days. At least 2 days is needed. 2 days.
The maximum can be any. The maximum can be any time, right?
Maximum can be anything. Maximum can be anything. It can be 2 months.
Right.
Maximum can be anything. But one thing you have to be very careful. After doing the whole thing, you should keep this particular painting in such a place where there is no dust. That is why generally while doing oil painting, I ask the students to cover it up with little bit of cloth. Say it should not be scratched. Some cloth should be placed on it so that it will dry up, but dust will not get inside. But the best thing is to leave it alone in a place where is no dust.
सर जब मीन्स हमें जब भी लाइट कलर्स लाइट शेड लाना होगा तो व्हाइट हमें देना ही होगा उस पार्ट पे, व्हाइट दे के ही लाइट.
ऐसा नहीं है, व्हाइट आपको देना ही होगा, ऐसे नहीं. आप दूसरा कलर से भी कर सकते हैं. जैसे देखिए हम येलो से इसका ऊपर लाइट कलर्स ला रहे हैं. मतलब जो लाइट आप चाहेंगे वो लाइट लाने के लिए जो कलर्स आपको चाहेंगे वो यूज कर सकते हैं. जैसे अगर ये ज्यादा लाइट है, कम चाह रहे तो आप इसका ऊपर येलो यूज किया, इससे थोड़ा सा इससे डार्कनेस कम हो गया. जहां जैसे टोन चाहिए वैसे टोन आप यूज कर सकते हैं स्ट्रेट अवे. लेकिन जनरली मिक्सिंग इज इंपॉर्टेंट. आप मिक्स करके करेंगे तो अच्छा इफेक्ट आएंगे आप.
ड्राई होने के बाद
यस
ड्राई होने के बाद भी हमें मीन्स कोई भी ऑयल वहां पे डालना नहीं है, जस्ट कलर से ही हम लोग वो शेड ला सकते हैं.
फर्स्ट लेयर में हम देखिए इधर फर्स्ट लेयर में ज्यादा ऑयल डाले थे, थोड़ा सा लिंसीड ऑयल ज्यादा डाल के हम किया था. सेकेंड लेयर में हम यूज ही नहीं कर रहे, इसमें थोड़ा सा किया था, ब्रश एकदम अटक गया था इसलिए किया था. अभी इसमें तो मतलब एकदम ही कर वो आप करते. आप जब ब्रश से काम करेंगे आपको खुद को पता चल जाएंगे कब ब्रश अटक रहा है कब नहीं रहा है. ब्रश नहीं अटकेंगे, इट विल कंटिन्यू टू मूव ऑन smoothly. That is why it is so nice to do oil painting. It gives a soothing effect on your nerves also. Yes, tell me.
Generally, when we are beginning, how many layers usually should be given on an oil painting?
Actually, there is no hard and fast rule about that. It depends upon the subject you are choosing. Say for an example, you are making a fruit. Say you are making here I'm making the fruits of different kinds of fruits, one after another. So unless and until you are getting the original texture of that particular fruits, you have to keep on doing the layering. That is why it is so difficult. In acrylic, as it dries out so quickly, we can with 2-3 layers we will get the original. More or less the original texture. But in oil painting it is difficult. But at the same time you may ask, then why should we use oil painting? We should use acrylic all the time. But the difference is that in oil painting, if you can handle the oil properly, the object will be much more realistic than when you have made it with acrylic. If you put two paintings, similar painting side by side, one done with acrylic, one done with oil, and if the painter is a skilled one, good painter, then the difference can be seen.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
पहले मैंने इधर व्हाइट यूज किया था, फिर रेड यूज किया था, थोड़ा सा येलो यूज करके धीरे धीरे इसका टोन ला रहे हैं. And it is getting so easy because I have already made the base tone. previously. So that is why the color is mixing out so well. इधर इतना जल्दी मिक्सिंग नहीं होगा. देखिए फिर हम इधर मिक्स कर रहे हैं, ये व्हाइट पार्ट पे मिक्स कर रहे हैं. इधर मिक्स करेंगे तो इतना स्मूथ मिक्सिंग इधर नहीं होगा. The mixing will not be so smooth as I am getting over here. See, can you see the difference? Even when I am using white, it is not mixing so nicely as I am getting the tone over here. Is that clear? And that is why we do one coating of oil, I mean colors on the base, and then we will go on the next tone, I mean the next coating. Now see, here I am putting some more white. What will happen? For doing oil painting, you have to understand the mixing of the colors. That is very, very important. I'm repeating number of times. This is the most important part of doing oil painting. Otherwise, it is almost like acrylic. But only the timing of mixing and the brushing is very, very important for oil, because it is very delicate medium, very, very delicate. See, the white has become much more visible over here, and I'm stretching it towards this particular part softly. Is it visible? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
So see the difference. Here I have used white, yellow, and red. I have used white, yellow, and red here also. So see the difference, color difference. Same colors I have used over here and the same colors I have used over here. See the difference. That has become, I mean, the difference is due to the brushing and the quantity of colors. There was chrome yellow, there was crimson, there was white. Again, there was chrome yellow, crimson, and white. See the difference. That can be possible due to the brushing and the quantity of colors. That will, you will say, how can I do it? It needs practice. It needs very, very long practice. All of you be clear about it. Your first canvas will be a mess with oil. Your first canvas can be a mess with oil. So don't get upset with it. Just keep on doing. Automatically you will get the grip. That is why learning oil painting needs so much of time. I'm sorry. Now, again, I will go to this particular area because it is light, there is light tone. So I can still use some layers over here. In the dark tone, I will not do anything. In the lighter part, I will play with colors till now, because it will not disturb the layers I have already given. But as because I need to have lighter shades over here, I can still, after say half an hour, I'm putting little bit of light, more lights over here. But be very careful, don't put it inside the darker part. In acrylic, within 15 minutes, we have the chance to, make the, if there is any problem, we can